You're live.
You ready?
Yep, you're live.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cleveland Community Police Commission August meeting. Today is Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. We're located at our 3631 Perkins Avenue office here in Cleveland, Ohio. I officially call this meeting to order. I welcome you all. I want to start with the roll call attendance. Co-Chair Adams.
Present.
Commissioner Chura.
Present.
Commissioner Coleman. Present. Commissioner Kincaid. Present. Commissioner Mason.
Present.
Commissioner Miller.
Present.
Commissioner Moreira Benito. Commissioner Nelson is not here. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Present.
Commissioner Umelson.
Present.
Commissioner Van Leer.
Present.
And I am present. We're going to move forward with the next item on the agenda, which is adoption of the agenda. I move to adopt the agenda. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay. Is there any discussion, debate, any recommendations to change the agenda at all?
Well, just that we should adjust the date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to approve the agenda with the correction to today's date. It says the 28th on our agenda, but it should be the 27th. Okay. Any other?
Oh, do you need a motion?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'll call the vote to adopt this with that correction. Co-Chair Adams.
Aye.
Commissioner Chura.
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid.
Aye.
Commissioner Mason.
Aye.
Commissioner Miller.
Aye.
Commissioner Moreira Benito.
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Aye.
Commissioner Umelson.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer.
Aye.
I say yes. Thank you. Okay, so the next item is meeting decorum. This meeting of the Cleveland Community Police Commission is a lawful meeting under section 605.04 of the codified ordinance. No person with purpose to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting shall do any act which obstructs or interferes with the due conduct of such meeting. Members of the public are invited to speak in accordance with the public meeting rules. Disruptions, including but not limited to speaking out of turn and or making loud utterances that interferes with the due conduct of this lawful meeting may constitute as a misdemeanor and a violation of section 605.04. If this meeting is disrupted, I will call for a recess and the room will be cleared. Persons who violate the city ordinance and commit misdemeanors may be subject to prosecution. When this body is able to return from recess, then in compliance with the Ohio Open Meetings Act and section 101.021 of the codified ordinance, the meeting will be open to the public. Okay, so we're going to move forward with the approval of the meeting minutes for the July full commission meeting. They are included in our agenda. So you can review those. I've reviewed these previously. I move to approve these minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, are there any corrections or anything that needs to be made, or are you guys okay?
I think the only correction I see is that it should say full commission meeting minutes instead of accountability.
Accountability, yeah.
So other than that, it's fine.
Where's that?
Sorry, Tucker.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're gonna take out accountability and make it full, commission meeting. Okay, so we'll approve it with that correction. You guys see anything else? Okay, if not, we're gonna move forward with the vote. Co-Chair Adams.
Aye.
Commissioner Chura.
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman.
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid.
Aye.
Commissioner Mason.
Aye.
Commissioner Miller.
Aye.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Moreira Benito,
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Aye.
Commissioner Umelson,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer,
Aye.
and I vote yes. Thank you for that. Okay, and we're on to public comment. Is there a list? Oh, I didn't finish writing.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
finish writing.
There was one correction that I forgot about. I know before I forgot about it. Would you like to bring it up?
What was it?
Technically, no. It's just a little bit of, it's kind of misstated. And I don't know if it's important enough to clarify, but it was.
What is it?
Bring it to your attention real quick, and we just kind of. Clarify.
You can.
So, it just says as far as the outreach committee. Okay. It says as far as the outreach committee update, it states that, the CPC is working on district policing committees and is considering hiring an outside firm to conduct a survey of these CPC meetings. And that's not what we were, there's two different things. We were talking about an outside firm for the survey itself, but it had nothing to do with this DPC.
Yeah, that is separate.
Yeah, that's completely separate. So we are not hiring an outside firm, in regard to the DPC at all. But we are considering hiring an outside firm
For the
to
survey.
assist us with, conducting the survey, the community outreach survey. So can we clarify that and make that distinction?
Do we have to go through a whole new?
Do we have to go
Yes.
through any new?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to put a motion on the table to make that correction?
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. So I move, to correct the agenda item, in regard to the outreach committee update, stating that the CPC is working with the district policing committees and is considering hiring an outside firm to conduct a survey of the DPC meetings. I move to correct that, to state that the CPC is working with the district policing committees, period. The CPC is also considering hiring an outside firm to conduct the community outreach survey, completely separate of the DPC.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or debate about that? Okay, I'm gonna call the vote. Co-Chair Adams,
Aye.
Commissioner Chura,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller.
Abstain.
Okay. Commissioner Moreira Benito,
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Aye.
Commissioner Umelson,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer,
Aye.
and I vote yes. Thank you.
Just quickly for the minutes, it should be a motion to amend something.
All right, so we're gonna move on to public comment. The first, name is Johnny Ham.
No battery should work. You're working on this?
Are you?
Testing.
I mean, if you want, you
Yeah.
can.
We can pull up a chair.
Actually cause feedback?
No, it's okay, with the volume thing, I'll bring up a chair in case. You can face another direction in the face.
Test?
Oh, yeah.
Test, okay. I guess we'll do it this way. Thank you.
Yes.
My name is Johnny Ham, as already mentioned. I am not representing the city or the Division of Police. I'm a Cleveland resident with some extensive knowledge about policing in the city of Cleveland and also policy writing. What I'm talking about today is the window tent GPO. I don't know if it was pushed out for public consideration. If it was, I missed it. But based on my review of it, page 1, why use the Ohio Revised Code when there's a comparable Cleveland Codified Ordinance, which is 437.28? Reason for this is GPO 8203 Uniform Traffic Ticket states that the use of Title 45 of the Ohio Revised Code is limited to cases where a comparable CCO does not exist. This has been in effect for at least a couple of decades, and it's institutional knowledge that we just know we're not supposed to use state codes when a city code is available. If you're going to change this type of institutional knowledge, I would recommend doing it in a more structured way as opposed to it just being hidden into a GPO. Also for structure on page 2, the calibration, tent restrictions, and tent exceptions should probably all. I'm just going to sit back down. Also throughout the document, you list officer, member, and sworn division member. Different GPOs have in the past used officer and member or sworn member, but you don't describe what each of them are. And some of the duties cross-reference, so you might be referencing something that an officer cannot do, but you need them to do, or something that you don't want somebody else in another member of the division, which may not be an officer, is doing. Under Roman numeral 1B, that's just restatement of the manual rules 6.05, of another piece of institutional knowledge that every member of the division knows. The specific tent meter name and model number should not be listed. Better language would be members shall use city issued tent meters according to manufacturer specifications that the member is certified to use. Under Roman numeral 2C, it says removed from service, but we use the term bad ordered. We don't use the term removed from service. This is another piece of institutional knowledge that all officers understand when something is bad ordered. There's a whole process that we have to go through. So bad ordering equipment already exists with the procedures in place already. Some better language for that may be members shall calibrate the tent meter according to manufacturer specifications before and after every enforcement use. A failed calibration before or after the enforcement use invalidates the enforcement use, which I'm reading into what I think your intent was with what you said. Roman numeral number 3 is just restating what the ORC already said that's already been quoted. Roman numeral 3B1, the 50%, where does that come from? I know it's in there, but there should be the specific reference in the law of where it's from.
Time.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I would suggest any other recommendations you have, maybe email them to our policy chair, Pete Van Leer. Okay, next person on the
Can I
list.
add one thing? Also, our policy committee meetings are the second Wednesday of each month. And I know that you have a lot of policy knowledge, and so I would recommend, we would love to have you.
Tried, it's tough schedule.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Thank you. Next person on up for public comment is Cameron Damascus.
So last year I attended a picket at a gas station in Lee Harbor neighborhood. The only complainant to the CPC, Antoine Tolbert, was arrested shortly before. The officer who was investigating, Detective Timothy Hannon, referred to this boycott as intimidating a crime witness as part of a, I believe at that point it was like 9-count felony trial. This happened roughly, 6 weeks after you all approved to have a hearing on Tolbert's complaint, within 6 weeks. Immediately after the arrest, people who were around and witnessed what happened were describing it as retaliatory and baseless. He and other members of New Era Cleveland have since been found not guilty on all charges. I want to share with you all just some information related to that. At the start of the investigation, one of the detectives was on body cam footage referring to Tolbert as, quote, the Henderson guy. Henderson being the officer that Tolbert has a complaint against. And Detective Timothy Hannon, who led the investigation, who misconstrued a boycott as extortion, he went on to say, "This is great. We finally have something on him." So for a year, we've been raising the allegation of retaliation. In trial, I think there was plenty of evidence of the retaliatory intent. I do know that a lawsuit is being threatened against Timothy Hannon, and one of the obligations of the CPC is to investigate any officer that has allegations that a lawsuit will be brought against them. In addition, the consent decree says that officers are to be disciplined up to termination for retaliation. So I think this is something very important to act on. The fact that all of this evidence exists surrounding the first complaint to be approved for a hearing is deeply disturbing, and I think that we need to respond seriously to this to make sure that things like this do not happen again. And also on the topic of seriousness, I'm not a fan that you all approved the $30,000 for the Noble Conference. I think suspending the rules to do that was inappropriate. At the following accountability committee meeting, it was discussed that you all are struggling with funds to hire staff. $30,000 can go a long way to hire a staff. And from what I saw on social media, like I'm not a fan that like it was sponsored by a drone manufacturer. Like there's a lot to that. So I just would I find that a little disappointing. But most importantly, like the issue of retaliation.
Thank you very much.
Please take that seriously. Thank you all.
Okay, next on the agenda is the report from the interim executive director.
Good evening, everyone. I'll keep it pretty brief. First, I want to introduce the new attorney that is assisting the CPC through the law department, and that is Louis Moat. I look forward to working with him. A couple items to report on. I hope that a lot of you might be happy to hear that internally we are working toward having a SharePoint system, and that way we can more easily drop records in and manage records. We're also just refining processes generally. I think a lot of the things that have fallen by the wayside previously is attributable to the fact that there's a lack of process or a gap in the process. And so I'm constantly attempting to refine those processes to ensure that the work becomes that much easier to move forward. I am happy to report that I have a meeting with the monitor, the new interim monitor, this week to discuss a variety of items, including records, policies, and training materials as well to similarly refine processes so that the commission can move forward the work of the CDP and CPC. Lastly, we are having an internal meeting to discuss potential renewal options for our leasing space. I know some of you have expressed concerns about our space, and due to the limited budget, we don't have many options, but I'd be certainly willing to hear the commission's view on any sort of take that, you know, whether we renew it or try and find somewhere else to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Next is our co-chair report given by Dr. Jahan.
Good evening, everyone. So there's just a couple items I want to discuss. Let me turn this up a second. The first is the update on the executive director search. So we know that we met with Lee from MGT last month, and it appears that he is still on schedule for what we discussed. Just got a recent update that the applications closed on August 11th. They were reviewing even before, and so there was a total of over 60 prospective candidates that applied this time, which is a lot more than what we had last time. So that is a good sign. He's currently screening the applicants and interviews, and if I'm not mistaken, I think those interviews actually may be complete. And so it's looking like the top applicants, there are about 16 of them. And so, if they're not done yet, they will be done this week. And then, they're gonna meet to, basically discuss the candidates that have been flagged by MGT. And then from that point, they'll be moving those candidates on to the commission for consideration. So when I say consideration, I don't mean like they're gonna get us down to 3 people, but they'll give us a list for people for us to start looking at, and then we can determine sort of, who we're interested in for final interviews and things like that. So, so they are still on their October 6th deadline. So it looks like they're moving forward with that. And I think just to put it out there, now clearly we have a motion that we've brought to the table. You know, we've had much success with records, but we're sort of having challenges again, in terms of receiving records. I know, just for example, our agreement is when records requests are submitted, there are 7 days to either, I guess, challenge the records request or ask for like clarification or to request additional time to fulfill that records request. And then if there's no need for clarification, or anything like that, then there's 21 days under which we should get the records. That's not happening. I know that we just got a records request to fill. We asked for disposition letters from the CPRB. And we thought that could be a pretty simple request, considering that their civilian oversight, work civilian oversight, and they're probably just sitting on someone's computer somewhere. But that record request took us almost 80 days to fill, and that's internal to eternal. Internal to internal. So we are still having some challenges. We're working through it as best we can, but I just want to put it out there that it still depends on seeing on what we ask for, that there's either more compliance with certain types of requests and more resistance from other types of requests. So we're still dealing with that. And then I think the last thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to, Commissioner Luther Roddy from the Black Shield, he was sworn in either Monday or Tuesday this week. So he's official. There are some other complications, which is why he's not here today. So we're trying to work with the law department to figure out some clarity on the issues that have arisen, we got wind of today. But in the meantime, we are going to, would like to someone, if they don't mind, to present a motion to basically Commissioner Roddy onto the Policy and Promotion and Evaluations Committee. Spoke with him.
I move to appoint Commissioner Roddy to the policy committee. And I believe there's space on it.
It's
Yeah,
for,
we have 4, great, okay. And also the promotions and evaluations committee.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion or anything? All right, we're gonna move forward with that vote. Yeah. Co-Chair Adams,
aye.
Commissioner Chura,
Abstain.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid. Aye. Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Commissioner Marrero Benito. Aye. Commissioner Rodriguez.
And you said you want to join both committees?
Yeah.
You said, okay.
All right, I got it right.
Aye.
I'm sorry, what was your answer?
Aye.
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 Okay. Commissioner Olmstead,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer,
Aye.
and I vote yes, thank you. Is there anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, that's all. That's all I have.
I'd
Okay.
like to make an motion to amend the agenda. I apologize.
Okay.
we need to add a motion for dismissal of a petition. This petition was dismissed by the Accountability Committee in our last Accountability Committee meeting. In our rules, the next step is to bring it to the full commission for dismissal. Our executive director is printing copies of the case report for everybody, and we will, and they will give a report on that. So I need to add that item under the Accountability Committee. And I just want to apologize on behalf of the Accountability Committee that this didn't go out earlier. We, we don't have a permanent chair, and so I assure that once we have a permanent chair, that an oversight like this won't happen again.
Okay, and, Commissioner, Coleman, was that okay the way she worded that, amendment to the agenda? Should we phrase it like a previously amended item or anything like that? She wants
to. Just for the minute, yeah. If something was already adopted, it's a motion to amend something previously adopted, and then you give whatever you want to do.
Okay, so we, have a motion on the table to amend, a motion that was previously adopted, and that is to add the, dismissal of an accountability complaint.
Yes.
Okay, so we have that. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, let's discuss this.
So I'm gonna say, Commissioner Benito, I think, would this be the correct time to maybe just give some background to the commission?
This, on what? On the why, on the case?
Well,
I think she's moving to add.
She wants to add it.
To the, under the Accountability Committee report, and,
Yeah, so right now there's, just a general update, but we want to add the, the removal, dismissal.
let me clarify. The motion.
We've already done it.
The motion, I'm just clarifying for everybody, the motion is to amend the motion where we pass the agenda, and the way we are amending it is to add under the Police Accountability Committee standing, under general update, to add a motion for dismissal of civilian complaints. Correct.
All right, is there any discussion or debate about this? No? Is there any discussion or debate from anyone? All right, we're gonna call the vote to add this to the agenda. Co-Chair Adams,
aye.
Commissioner Chura,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid,
Aye.
Commissioner Mason,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Commissioner Morero Benito,
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Aye.
Commissioner Umasan,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer,
Aye.
and I vote yes. That passes. It will be added under our, Accountability Committee report. Thank you very much. Okay, so the first, committee status report is given by the Chair of the Rules Committee, Commissioner Tara Coleman.
So I didn't realize the co-chair report was finished, and I guess for both the interim executive director report and the co-chair report, we didn't get an opportunity to ask questions. For the rules committee, we passed.
Can you turn up the volume on your mic?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, for Rules Committee, we, passed the draft evidentiary procedure manual that was then passed by the full commission, and that has been sent to the DOJ. Next, our priorities will be to, get together a citizen's guide to the manual and the hearings process. And I am sad to report, it sounds like it's up in the air about, it's whether or not our rules will be redone by outside counsel. I don't have a status update on that, but it looks to be not as promising as the last report that I gave out. That's all, thanks.
Thank you for that. gonna move on to the Police Accountability Committee, and, Chair Pro Tem, Nelson, Commissioner Nelson is not here, so that will be given by Commissioner Chandra Benito.
Okay, thank you. So, again, I apologize, that this didn't go out. Everybody, right now, Alex is, distributing our, the case report. So just to kind of remind everybody of the rules and how this works, is we get a, civilian complaint, or a complaint from anybody, and, then the executive director requests the case file. Once the case file has been requested, once it is received, then there's 15 days for us to complete a case review, and that is what is being passed out right now. The things that are in it include just some kind of basic information about the case, talks about the procedural history, the standard of review, anything that we kind of need to think about prior, the actual offense, and then that was the accusation, and then kind of the summary of what happened as it went through the disciplinary process. So this was a case that went through CPRB and OPS, and then there's an analysis that is given, and then a recommendation that came from the executive director. So that analysis was completed. The accountability committee received this. We, in our meeting in July, at the end of July, right after our last full commission meeting, we reviewed this case as a committee, and then our executive director presented it. We had some discussion on it, and then we took a vote whether to dismiss the case or hold evidentiary hearing. So our procedures say that if we dismiss the case, it gets sent to the full commission for a motion of dismissal, just to make sure that there is another set of eyes on it, and to ensure that if there was an objection, that the commission has a voice in ensuring that then it can still go to an evidentiary hearing. So in this particular case, the committee voted to dismiss the case, and so now it is in front of the full commission for a motion of dismissal. So the question before the committee is going to be whether to dismiss the case, and which means that it will not have an evidentiary hearing, or to bypass the committee's decision and hold an evidentiary hearing. I recognize that people are getting this late, and so we can always table the motion, but I wanted to ensure that we are following our procedures, and to at least we can discuss it and we can have the case review presented. So I just wanted to give a quick overview of that. Before we go into the case report, I'll just give any additional updates. We have confirmed that our next meeting will be next Tuesday, September 2nd at 5:30 p.m. at the office. And we will, among the largest things that we discussed will be the Brady Giglio work group, or our Brady Giglio duties, and how we plan to fulfill that as a committee. We will also make sure that we have our permanent chair, and also set our regular meeting schedule so that it's not different every month. So we will make sure that that happens. And the other thing that we did is we created a work group. And the work group consists of me and Ms. Mason, and we will be reviewing disciplines and as they come in, so that we can identify cases to then be discussed by the accountability committee to determine whether we should request a case file. And so we have not set our first work group meeting, but we will get together after this meeting and get that on the schedule. As part of that first meeting, we'll kind of determine what we want the composition of the work group to be, and any kind of policies and procedures around that. And so that will be happening before our next full commission meeting. Are there any other from my other esteemed colleagues on the committee? Oh, and I'm so sorry, Dr. John Adams is also going to be on that committee as a chair. Are there any other items that I did not share that you think would be important to share?
Well, I'm sorry, I was there, but I forgot. What was I know that you guys, voted to dismiss it and not have a hearing, but wasn't there like a recommendation that you guys had?
You're right, thank you. I was gonna do that after, but we can just, do that now. So one of the, components of the case, was identified as, there being some concerns about potential, negligence of, the Miranda rights, whether somebody had been followed proper procedures of Miranda. And so, there was a question of whether we wanted to essentially there was a discussion about whether we should ask OPS to then, that was not part of the OPS investigation, but it was caught by our executive director as they reviewed the case file as a potential violation. And so we had some discussion about whether to send it to OPS to essentially make a complaint to have them investigate that. That was voted down, and but the committee did vote to send a memo to the training committee to ask the training committee to look at whether maybe there should be some additional Miranda training for the division. And so that did pass, and we are lucky that we have 2 members on the accountability committee that are also on the training committee. Is that right? Sheila and Jim are both on, the training committee. So, that's, I think, one of the beauty of some of our committees is that they can, we can make sure we can all work together to kind of identify issues and address them.
Thank you. Ideally, what would happen is after the committee moves to approve something that to then go to another committee, that motion would be contained in the minutes of that committee meeting. And then after the adoption of those minutes, then those minutes would be passed on to the committee. So that is why no information yet was provided to the training committee, because unfortunately the accountability committee has not met yet in August. But when it does meet, it has on its agenda consideration and potential adoption of those minutes to then move forward to the training committee to sort of close the loop on that motion.
Yeah, good question. Okay. Thank you so much. So, are there any questions about that before I turn the floor over to our esteemed interim executive director? Anything else from committee members? Okay, thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Just clarifying, this all happened in the meeting that I was unable to attend.
Oh.
This vote and all of the things. Okay, because that vote was also news to me. I said, when did we do that? I was not there, so
Okay.
my apologies.
No worries.
I'll defer to the committee chair pro tem or the co-chairs as to how they'd like me to present this. But essentially what happened is this complaint came through the CPC via citizen-initiated petition after a finding of CPRB. The allegations of the complaint that OPS and CPRB were reviewing were threefold. One, alleged violation of the search and seizure policy as contained in GPO 2.02.02 and Manual of Rules 4.17. 2, allegations of unprofessional behavior and conduct in violation of the Manual of Rules. And 3, alleged violation of bias-free policing. The CPRB, OPS investigated and recommended to CPRB, and CPRB adopted the recommendation with the final outcome being, as to allegation number 1, exoneration for alleged violation of search and seizure. As to allegation number 2, unfounded as to the unprofessional behavior and conduct. And as to allegation 3, unfounded as to the alleged violation of bias-free policing. If you guys want me to present the facts, I'd be happy to sort of delve into the facts a little bit.
I think if you could maybe for tonight give a more robust report than maybe we would in the future, just because the commission members just got the report. Thank you.
Certainly. So the conduct giving rise to this citizen complaint pertained to a search of an individual's house. The individual who resided in the house was Ms. Baez. The officers that were involved in the search, among many others, were Detective Robert Sauter and Detective Donald Kupchak. When the citizen complaint was submitted to OPS conducted an investigation. That investigation included interviewing the officers under the Garrity provisions, reviewing body cam footage, reviewing the search warrant, which was alleged to be in violation of the law, along with any other materials that it deemed relevant. Sorry, it's been a minute since I've looked at this, but the allegations essentially involve Ms. Baez's belief that the officers were handling the search improperly on the basis of the search warrant allegedly not containing the name of the judge. And in fact, the judge signed a name under his nickname. I think it was Bill McGinty, Judge Bill McGinty of the Common Pleas Court of Cuyahoga County, rather than his full legal name, William McGinty. In addition, Ms. Baez alleged that the officers were demeaning and disrespectful towards her, and made some specific allegations as to some of their verbiage, stating that her son was going down and that they were finally going to get him. So OPS's investigation culminated in a report, that report being, as I previously discussed. After receiving the disposition letter from CPRB, Ms. Baez then submitted the request for appeal here. This case assessment and analysis was provided to the Accountability Committee on July 10, 2025, and I believe it was heard on July 31st, 2025. In the case analysis before you, I recommended and the committee adopted the recommendation that the 3 allegations made involving unlawful search and seizure, unprofessional conduct, and alleged violation of bias-free policing not move forward to the full commission for an appeal. Upon my review of the evidence, I found that the evidence supported OPS and CPRB's findings, and that there was not sufficient facts to proceed on the appeal to potentially review that decision-making. So that is sort of the motion before this body. That motion being not to move to the full, not to move the appeal to the full commission.
After we vote on this motion, would you mind giving the information about the Miranda?
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
Commissioner Van Leer?
Senator Director, what, in terms of your review of the evidence, I mean, what did that look like? Did you look at body cam footage, or did you read reports, or just out of curiosity, what is involved with your review?
Certainly. I looked at all the evidence that was provided by CPRB and OPS. That body of evidence was body cam footage, the OPS report, any, the citizen complaint form, the policies at play, the search warrant and supporting affidavit, and the interviews of the officers.
I believe you also reviewed the, incident reports from the officers themselves, correct?
Yeah, there was an incident report along with an inventory of evidence that was seized, which was none.
Commissioner Coleman?
Are the, so I'm not even gonna ask where all that stuff is, but the exhibits in the analysis, are those compiled somewhere?
They're all located online.
No, to your analysis.
Yeah, the case analysis and the corresponding exhibits are on our website. To the extent they're not video footage. The video footage is contained somewhere in the drive that,
So this is on the website too?
yes,
Oh, so we've had it?
yes, that's my
Okay,
understanding.
I was not aware.
The commission members were not notified, so that's the oversight of the accountability committee, and I apologize.
My apologies. It was on the agenda for the accountability committee, and we do strive to include all the agenda items on the website to the extent they're written.
The other thing that I noticed when looking through this, and I was just curious, there was a very large time gap between the incident and the actual complaint, right? It was like 2019 to now.
To 2024.
To 2024, okay, 2019 to 2024. And so it did mention something about that time gap having, although for reasonable, under reasonable conditions or whatever, having some effect on this analysis. What effect does the time gap have on the analysis, if any?
So two, I think, considerations with regard to the time gap. One, it being the union contract, the CBA agreement. So the CBA agreement does provide a provision that sort of limits the amount of time that the administration has to discipline officers. It is my understanding that the charter does not have that limitation. Secondarily, to the extent a complaint is submitted after a length of time, the sort of body of evidence could potentially be destroyed pursuant to the records retention policy, or other items such as the officer may no longer be employed by the city, sort of an absence of memory, and other things that might impact or affect the ability for the commission to hold an appeal.
Do you feel like any of those factors had any effect on this particular analysis, or was it kind of free of those limitations?
Can't hear you.
Sorry. What did I say? Oh, do you feel like any of those factors that you just mentioned had any effect on this particular analysis, or was it relatively free of those limitations?
The second factor, or the second, I guess, aspect of the length of delay, no. The first factor, in my opinion, is never a limitation for this committee to consider discipline of an officer. So to the extent the CBA provides that 6-month or 2-year time frame, I don't believe that could validly limit this body's ability to impose greater discipline.
Commissioner Benito? I think also because even though there was a large delay between the incident and the OPS investigation, and so I think that if there were limitations that came from the delay, it would be more on the end of OPS because they just made a determination about it in 2024, so we're reviewing a decision by OPS that was just last year. But there are sometimes other cases, and we have a complaint right now that is a case from over 10 years ago, and so I do think that like the executive director said, that there are some questions that we'll have to answer about cases that are from a long time ago, but in this particular situation, and really most of what we're doing is reviewing OPS or internal affairs decisions, and for this, that was just from last year, so all of that I don't think was really impeded because it is still really recent, but the actual incident itself was, as you noted, a little bit old.
Okay, so, and as Commissioner Moreira Benito stated, this is new to some of you. because of certain delays with sending out information. So even if you, if you guys don't feel comfortable moving forward with this tonight, I think it's okay if we decide to, maybe you could withdraw this and we can, do further, just kind of look at it a little bit further and look at it in our next meeting, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Van Leer?
Yeah, just one question for the accountability committee. To what extent did you review the documents and the footage? Like, what was your,
Yeah, so the committee was sent, the same document on July 10th, and we all, reviewed it, prior to the meeting on July 31st. And then we discussed it, I'd say, like, fairly at length, during, that committee meeting, and then we made a decision based on that discussion. Jim or Sheila, is there anything you want to add to our consideration of it? I do think that it was thoroughly considered, but I also understand that people received it late, and I would love to maybe either entertain a motion to dismiss this case or a motion to table it so that we can make a clear decision one way or another. Table the motion, meaning for us to review at the next full commission meeting.
Through the chair, Commissioner Benito, so you actually reviewed the body cam and all the footage?
Oh, no. So
No.
I didn't review the body cam footage. I did review some of the additional evidence, but I do know that Commissioner Mason did, and so I'll let her speak for herself.
Through the chair,
I do my comment.
through the chair, I reviewed all the body cams, all the interviews. I read through all the evidence, the reports. So every aspect of that case was reviewed by myself and Judge Nelson. We stayed here for a couple of hours to review.
Thank you. And then I reviewed a lot of the paper evidence. I didn't watch the body cam footage, and then I read that thoroughly and engaged in discussion.
All right, is there any further discussion or debate?
I have a question. So if the end has an issue of remand, is that like a separate issue? Like we'll vote first on whether it goes forward and then a separate issue is?
I wanted to,
Okay.
I want us to discuss the, Miranda,
Okay.
after this vote, just to make sure that we don't kind of complicate the motion.
All right, so any further? All right, so because no one is objecting to moving forward with this vote, I'm going to call the vote to
I don't think a motion has been made. Can I make the motion?
Okay, I thought you made that.
Okay, I move, to the full commission to dismiss, this petition, based on the recommendation of the executive director.
Is there a
And
second?
the recommendation of the accountability committee.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay, is there any discussion on this? Okay, with no further discussion, we'll move forward with the vote. Co-Chair Adams?
Aye.
Commissioner Chura?
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman?
Abstain.
Commissioner Kincaid?
I also abstain.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Miller?
I abstain.
Commissioner Marrera Benito?
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
I abstain.
Commissioner Umason?
Abstain.
Commissioner Van Leer?
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, and I vote yes. It does not pass, so we'll, you guys have time to review this and we'll bring it up again. Thank you.
So, would you mind giving the information about the, I mean, I guess we could also table that for the next meeting. I don't know if we're, the discussion about the Miranda, since we're gonna be discussing this again in the next
We would
meeting.
postpone that table.
What?
There's a difference between postponing and tabling. We would postpone it under Robert.
Oh, sorry, postponing, thank you. Thank
So to clarify, through the committee chair, that aspect is not before the full commission. The recommendation for the motion to remand was not adopted by the accountability committee. So as it pertains to the Miranda allegations, that came out of the Accountability Committee with a motion to provide to the Training Committee a portion of this analysis to review the Miranda issue and determine whether it rose to the sort of level of needing additional training. And so what comes out of that, that aspect of the recommendation, I think will be within the purview of the Training Committee.
And I would suggest if you guys have any questions about that, just to reach out to Commissioner Marrera Benito or our interim executive director to just get a little more clarity on that.
Happy to, and again, I apologize for the oversight on the committee's part, and that is the conclusion of my report.
Okay, we're going to move forward with the next committee report, our Police Policy Committee, chaired by Commissioner Pete Van Leer.
Or I thought. No, that was not. Oh, I thought Chandra requested it. Okay. You didn't request a motion to either table or postpone?
No, I think I just requested that we either vote on the motion and so we voted on the motion, so it's automatically postponed. I think it automatically gets added as old business. It failed. Oh, so it moves to an evidentiary hearing.
Okay, for clarification, the motion that was on the table to basically accept the accountability's recommendation to dismiss Ms. Bias's case, that motion failed. There were
Right.
there were 5 ayes, there were 0 nays, and there were 6 abstentions. So the motion does not pass. So I think that what would have to happen is that motion would have to be brought back up to the commission in order for it to be voted on again.
So I guess I have a question in Commissioner Coleman, and my understanding is that if the dismissal, if the case is not dismissed, then it goes to an evidentiary hearing.
Oh,
I'm not
wow.
sure.
You could make a
But I
motion
think you
to
see what you're
postpone.
saying. I would.
I don't
Yeah.
think so because it's not.
That was the motion. You said your motion.
Well, I said the motion for dismissal, but the way that,
Okay.
The way you worded it.
To y'all.
well, I know, but I'm saying that our rules, if it goes up for dismissal, if it is not dismissed, it then goes to evidentiary hearing.
Okay, so I think I hear what you're saying. I'm not sure if that's like a default. Like, I'm not sure that if we vote and it doesn't
That's what
pass.
I'm asking.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm just clarifying where your questions, I don't know if everyone's on the same page. I'm just saying, I'm not really sure. My take, and now we have to come back and clarify, is I think that if it's dismissed, if it fails, then it fails. But I think it has to be voted in the affirmative to actually hear the case still, though.
Well, so, and
I don't know, I'm just trying to think it out loud. Go ahead.
Commissioner Van Leer.
If I could make a suggestion, just for clarity's sake, that we have another motion to postpone, if that's really what we want to do. Because I think the
If that's what we
abstention,
want, I think that's what we should
Okay.
do.
Okay.
we should make another
Just
motion.
this not passing does not mean it comes up again. Like, that is, if it failed, it failed. But I see your question as to, if the default is an evidentiary hearing, but I would have to look again, but I can't see where we would be forced to hold an evidentiary hearing because the accountability team recommended to dismiss.
But I guess then what would happen, I think when my understanding is when we created that procedure, and maybe it's not laid out, the idea was that I think the reason why I asked for there to be a motion on it, so us to vote, is that I imagine that if people wanted to postpone it, then we would have a motion to, and so this is all procedural, we can change it, but my understanding is that motion for dismissal, the options are either dismiss or hearing. So if the motion is not dismissed, there's no procedure for them asking the full commission to vote on whether there's an evidentiary hearing. So I think the only 2 options would be that if the commission votes to not dismiss, it would either be sent back to the accountability committee for us to re-review, or it would go to an evidentiary hearing. Because I just don't know what the other options are.
Through the chair, I just want to clarify that those of us who abstained weren't necessarily voting not to dismiss it. The reason we were abstaining was because we feel like we needed more time to review it. So would we then, because I understand what you're saying, I think we all understand your point, but to get through this, right, do we now, to your point, just put it back on the table that we will put this on our next agenda to come back to it and give a time frame to vote to then dismiss it? Or if some of us decide we don't want to dismiss it, then we vote at that point, yes or no?
And I think that was my understanding, because it failed due to the extensions, that it wasn't necessarily that they didn't want to dismiss it, it was that they needed more time, so, okay.
I would like to make a motion to postpone and take this up at our next full commission meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, I think we're all in agreement, so I'll just, it's to postpone.
The motion on the table is to postpone so at this point, we would be amending the previous motion to instead of dismissing, but we are going to postpone it.
And just for clarity, postpone, the only difference is like there's a date certain. So postpone means we are going to vote on this motion at a certain time, and then the other one lay on the table is like it's just put to the side indefinitely whenever we want to address it.
Okay, so amend previously adopted a motion to table civilian claims. So postpone, okay, postpone. Okay. Okay, so I took what she said differently. I thought she said to table
So then to
it
postpone
later.
to the next full meeting, the next.
We don't know if it's gonna be ready then.
Yeah.
Okay, but okay.
It's ready. It's just you all need to review it. You all need to review it.
We need to get ready.
Or may not, okay, okay. Okay, so I thought it was being reviewed already, okay. So, Co-Chair Adams?
Aye.
Commissioner Chura?
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid?
Aye.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Miller?
Aye.
Commissioner Marrero Benito?
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Aye.
Commissioner Umelson?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer?
Aye.
And I vote yes. Thank you. Was that all, was your, accountability?
That concludes it.
Okay, let's conclude. So are we ready to move forward to policy? Questions about anything that just happened? Before we move on to policy, I wanted to see if everybody accountability and we're okay to move on.
Oh, sorry, yes, I'm good.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna move forward
I
to.
will say that I will take a look back. I think that is something we should iron out though.
Okay, so we're gonna move forward to the police policy committee, and the update is gonna be given by the chair of that committee, Pete Van Leer.
Okay, so yeah, general update, we met a couple weeks ago, on the second Wednesday. As usual, we'll be talking about the, automatic license plate reader tonight, looking for a motion, but in the meantime, on deck for us, we had some conversation around the weapon clearing trap, CPO, corrective action, arrest and restraint. Those were the main ones aside from automatic license plate readers. And I'm hoping that those three we will take up at our, to vote at our next policy committee meeting with the intent to come to the full commission with those three potentially. Other GPOs that were in process with our duties of command and superior officer and social media and wearable camera systems. So of those six, we'll see where we end up, but we'll hopefully bring a few of those to the full commission at our September meeting. What? Oh, yes, and pursuit, vehicle pursuit. You can give it. Wait. Yeah, let me finish. But yeah, we'll get an update on the vehicle pursuits from the people who are working on that. One other thing we're probably going to talk about at our next policy committee meeting is we passed as a commission the gunshot detection system GPO a while ago, and the division has come back, and this relates to one of the public comments. They would like us to remove the actual name of the company, and so I think it's a pretty easy change. We had a quick conversation about it, and so we'll probably vote on that at the next policy committee as well. It's just simply removing ShotSpotter or SoundThinking, I think it's ShotSpotter in the GPO, so that it doesn't name a specific brand or company. And I think it's relevant, it's interesting because that was one of the points that the public comment made, and it's interesting because that social, the media tint, the window tint meter GPO is all the language referenced in that the public commenter was from the division itself, but we'll definitely look at that and consider that. So if you want a social media, I'm not social media in my brain, but the visual vehicle pursuits update would be great.
Commissioner Coleman and I are taking the lead on that. Do you want to give it, or do you want me to? Okay, so we are going to be working with the outreach committee. I apologize, after we had the meeting discussing, I became very ill. So we would like to do an additional survey of the community around this, and what we'd like to do is do like in-person surveying. We talked about potentially going outside of some grocery stores, so we are going to get with our colleague, Commissioner Kincaid, to discuss that. So, we'll have I'll be coordinating a meeting for that. I apologize, I'm just getting back after being in the hospital, but yeah, thank you, happy to be back. So, we just wanted to, there was kind of some considerable back and forth from the computer survey that we received. One issue that we had with it was that we received a high volume of responses, which is great. We had over 1,200 responses. However, the computer system tracks how long people spent responding to it. In hundreds of the responses, the respondents spent 1 second responding to it, or less than 1 second, which would be difficult for somebody to read the questions or even just click the buttons that many times. Like, there were a number of questions, and so we have some concerns. That was the majority of the responses that we received. So we have some concerns about the validity of the responses. And so that was the challenge of the survey method that we did. And so we would like to try a new survey method because we do really want to ensure that we are representing the voice of the people. And so that's why we're discussing a different method. We did talk about in the future when we do computer surveys, there are ways that we can kind of validate the responses by like 1 response per person, having people include their email addresses. So that's kind of the issue that we're having. So we will be getting with the outreach committee. We anticipate now needing to extend our review time for this GPO, probably about 3 months, to allow us to design a survey, conduct a survey, and analyze the results. Because we recognize that these are some really big questions that we're answering. And, you know, there was recently a Cleveland resident that was killed in a pursuit by a sheriff. It was a sheriff's car, right? So this is important stuff. And we are tasked with how do we thread the needle of ensuring public safety and ensuring that our officers have the tools that they need to make our streets safer, while also ensuring that our residents are safe. And so we are going to take a little more time on that. And so we are going to extend, probably hope to bring it back to the policy committee for a vote in about 3 months. And we really look forward to working with the outreach committee on that. Do you want to add anything?
2 points, just for clarification. We're not questioning because we think people didn't read it. It's because it indicates like one person just basically kept putting in the same response. And then my second thing is, I promised that we would meet with Commander Ian Muscle. So you and I need to get that on the books, and we might have maybe one other meeting for feedback on that.
Beautiful, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions or anything for policy?
I have a comment in regard to the surveys. I think, you know, maybe you should think about going to the block clubs that are out throughout the city and get actually concerned citizens instead of just standing outside of a grocery store like you're looking for a, signature to get on a petition to run for council. Actually have, they actually care enough to show up, good, proper input.
Great suggestion, thank you.
The district meetings as well, maybe when we go there to those, we can bring those with us. Yeah.
I do have a comment before we move on from policy. I don't know, I think this might have been Alex doing, but having the officers there that are like knowledgeable in what we're discussing was so tremendously valuable. And that's how I think, because they were there, we were able to get stuff, finished, and that's how we're able to pass or, bring this, automatic license plate reader. So I just wanted to, that change is just, it was very valuable and it's working, so I'm excited about that.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna move forward to the outreach
No,
committee.
wait,
Oh, I'm
we have a
sorry.
vote.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, we do
Yeah, okay.
Okay, sorry, it's been a long day.
I would like to, go ahead.
I move to, approve the GPO automatic license.
Second.
Okay, so just a real quick motion, it's the motion is for 4.06.13. And we sent that to you all, shortly after the committee meeting a couple weeks ago. So, if there's any discussion?
Are we all good? Okay, we'll move to the vote. Yeah, okay. Co-Chair Adams?
Aye.
Commissioner Chura?
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid?
Aye.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Miller?
Aye.
Commissioner Marrero Benito?
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Aye.
Commissioner Umison?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer?
Aye.
And I vote yes, passes. Thank you.
I have nothing further from policy.
All right, thank you so much for that. We'll move forward to the outreach committee, chaired by Commissioner Maya Kincaid.
Hey, everybody. So quickly, we don't really have much, to update at the moment. Jocelyn isn't here, but I wanted to, thank her for her initiative on collecting those, blog input from those of us who attended Noble, and those of us who were able to submit it. I haven't seen everybody else's, but I did submit mine, although later than she requested. But I do think that our engagement with things like that, sharing our personal input and output from all of our experiences on a regular basis on our website and in the newsletter that's being produced, will really help the community kind of connect with what it is we're doing outside of our meetings, and how we're interacting with the public. We did have a very successful meeting between several different departments. The CPC was represented by myself as the outreach chair and Sharina as the co-chair for this body, along with the monitoring team, including the new interim monitor, tell me what they are called again. Well, the police accountability team, but then,
Community Relations
No,
Board.
CPOP.
Oh, the community engagement officers?
Yes, the officers. They were a really large part of the information around this meeting and us figuring out what our role will be as a commission in regard to the district committee, police and meetings. Oh, and Alex also represented us there. And so to Commissioner Chura's point about us taking the survey that you guys are proposing to those meetings, I think that would be a great idea, especially since we are talking in that meeting about how to present actual strategy, which is what the charter calls for, us presenting actual strategy in those meetings and outcomes of the strategy that we come up with community input. And then I actually had an update from Commissioner Mason, and that will close out oh, one more thing. I will have a list going out for you guys of the introduction videos that we had discussed before for each of us to make that video. That'll be posted on our social media pages on our website. And then there will be an option, if you are interested in, making any of the informational videos, different topics that we will discuss. If you're interested in making any of those, like 30-second to minute and a half videos, kind of giving general information that we can post on our social media, we'll connect about that. Commissioner Mason?
Hello. On Monday, August the 25th, I met with Councilman Anthony Harrison out of Ward 10, and it was just based to talk about CPC and some of the things that we're doing and what he has offered CPC outreach is to have a place in his newsletter which goes out quarterly. And so I asked Maya to, I'm gonna connect her with him so that they can sit down and put together what the process would be. And then also, during his district meeting, we will also have a place on his agenda so that we can bring Ward 10 residents up to date as to some of the things that CP is doing, and also any concerns that they may have. So I just wanted to make sure that we touch bases with our constituents.
And I think that this is gonna snowball into us doing this for multiple wards, so fingers crossed.
Can I ask a clarification? So this is with, the Ward, 4 council person?
Ward 10.
Ward 10.
Harrison.
I love that. That's awesome. I think that is that something we plan to maybe replicate with other wards? I think that's awesome. Really exciting. Thank you.
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, great. We're going to move forward to the Budget and Grants Committee update given by the chair, Emo.
Thank you. So I don't really have too much, but just after the budget and grants, or the grants that we approved in the previous meeting, each one has to go through like a clerical process. And so once like the official award is sent out to each grantee, that's when we'll have an update as far as the 2025. So it is going to be a little process, but I'm hoping that we can have a meeting, with us early September, but we'll see, maybe in the next week or so. The other update was that there was a CPC grantee informational meeting today. So the United Black Fund did that meeting today. So that was at Warren